This is another episode of Multiple Streams by Any Means, where our show is geared towards showing our people unique ways to produce income while also placing the spotlight on entrepreneurs, content creators, and business professionals. I'm your host, Bam, and my co-host.
Jason Wyatt Pro.
Today we got a special guest. I've known her from quite some years, and I can say nothing but amazing things. We got She's hailing from Orlando, Florida. She's a tastemaker in the Atlanta music scene. She's the owner of the Tropical Express ATL plant store. You know, where they pretty much where she helps new plant lovers find a peace escape through vegetation, while also helping seasoned plant lovers find hidden treasures in rare plants. Hailing from Orlando, Florida, we have the one, the only, Crystal Thomas.
That was really good. Thank you.
I appreciate it. I appreciate you for coming on
Yeah,
short
welcome,
notice.
welcome.
So
Thank
short. That's
you.
what friends do. They come up on short notice and they come in the clutch. So yeah, I'm very excited to have you here. And I guess the first thing I want to say is Crystal, I've known you to do so many things. What was life?
Yeah.
What was life like for Crystal growing up? Like, were you into a lot of sports? Were you an entrepreneur? Were you a creative, or were you all of the above? And she's also a music head, by the way. She needs her
Yeah.
music.
Yeah. Honestly, as a kid, I didn't do much. I love music, always have. So that was always my escape. So I always listened to music. I was not involved in sports or anything like that. I think once I got older and I realized I didn't want to be home all the time, I started to get involved in like organizations and stuff because you used to like get to skip school and things like that. But I really didn't get serious about school or like doing anything until it was time to go to college. When I realized that I couldn't keep like failing classes and stuff, and they told me, they were like, "Oh, you can get the Hope Scholarship and go to school for free. Like, have you ever thought about going to college?" And I was like, I guess I could do that. So I did it, and I took it seriously when I got the opportunity. But before that, I would honestly have to say I didn't have any type of plan for my life.
That's flabbergasting because well, I also had the Hope Scholarship, so I used to bump into you a lot, and I was kind of the same way. Uh, I was always all right at school, like pretty good, like a B student. But you know, who wants to go to college? You know what I mean? Like nobody wants to really go to college. And it kind of happened to me too. Like I was just, you know, a young kid hustling in the neighborhood, and I was to be eligible for a Hope Scholarship in the hood is like it's like getting accepted to Harvard in the hood. So
Yeah.
that's kind of what encouraged me to go. I'm just like, you know, I got somewhere to go. And you said you didn't play any sports.
No.
I always thought you ran track.
Yeah, so it's funny. I just look that way. It's hereditary, but
She said, I just looked this way.
honestly, like my whole family, like we look athletic. Well, they're athletic. I'm not. But my mom, she did encourage me, but I was terrible. I never took it serious. Like I ran everything, but I would never win or like I didn't like it.
For real?
She said it
So-
wasn't for you.
It was not. I'm not an athlete at all.
For real?
Yeah, it just happens to
neither.
be genetic that I have physique.
That's
Yes.
dope. That's
Yeah.
dope. So you didn't have any hobbies like that growing up, or
No, music.
music?
Always music. I always like would just be in my room. Like I would think about music videos that I would want to like produce or like
Okay.
I would think about like so like in Orlando, like I would go to a lot of Magic games and like you know how like they play like the music like during certain times. I would think about like what would be a dope song that we
Yeah.
should drop during that moment when they like scored. Like I would always fantasize about music. I never really took anything else serious, but music always like that was my one hobby. Like cassette, so I was around when cassette players were around, so
Me
like
too.
I would record stuff off the radio that I would want to have, and then you know obviously we got to burn CDs later, so that was easier. But yeah, that's the only thing that I really seriously like loved was music.
That's dope because you do actually a lot of things. Not necessarily. I'm not sure exactly what you do music wise, but I see what you do around.
Yeah.
You throw some of the best events. And when
Yeah.
I say ASU, some people don't know what ASU is. That's the unsinkable Albany State University, south of Atlanta, Georgia. So
Yeah.
that's what I'm referring to. Not Alabama State. That's where my mom went, but no shade to them. But ASU, the one and only.
Right.
And you do a lot of events, and actually some great events. You bring people out,
Yeah.
and it's more love. It's genuine love and support, and I go to every event I can as long as I see the invite. But one thing I do notice you just said was you daydream a lot, and Steve Harvey always says that daydreaming is your preview to upcoming attractions. So it kind of does. So I guess that kind of helped with manifesting where you are now. So I know you're
That's a
from
good point.
Orlando. When did you come to Georgia? Like, did you go straight from
Yeah.
Florida to?
No, so
college?
I went to in the middle of high school. I moved to a small town called Jessup. My mom got married, so we ended up moving to Georgia, and that's where I met my guidance counselor who told me about the Hope Scholarship. Because in Florida, I didn't have any thoughts of college or anything, but there, Hope Scholarship is available in Georgia,
Yeah.
so that's a benefit. So that's not available in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
So after there, I was in high school for like a year and a half, and then after I graduated, that's when I went to Albany State, and my guidance counselor went to Albany State. So I just literally said, "Well, where'd you go to school?" And she said, "I went here." So I was like, "I go there too." I didn't apply anywhere else.
So like, all right. So I graduated high school a little early. So like, I went to a I'm like, I don't think it was the most. It was kind of non-traditional because they had block schedules. So by the time I made it to 11th grade, and it was a school kind of far in the galaxy, far away from the South
Okay.
Side. So I wasn't really. I never really became a acclimated to the North Side. It was on the North Side of town. It's called Riverwood High School. Cause like, all right, so the school bus, it would take us a long time to get to school, a long time to get home. I ain't play no sports. Like I was like you, I ain't play no sports. I wasn't in the band. I was just more so let me get back to the South Side and get my hustle on. That was my hobby, hustling. So
Yeah.
so I ended up going to an alternative school called Frank McLaren High School. It's in College Park, and I think I invented this. All right, so I went there to get it. I was ahead. I was there ahead, and I used that as a tool to graduate early because I didn't want to be in school for too long.
Right.
So I think I invented the I want to call it the BAM fast step program. And my guidance counselor took a liking to it because she like, okay, you're not here. Like most people here for not necessarily the wrong reason, but as a result of actions,
Yeah.
like maybe early pregnancy, getting kicked out for fighting or what have you. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So she kind of took a liking to me, and she introduced Albany State as well because after school I would do things like hang out in the West End area, in the Five Points area, and she knew I would hang out like Clark Atlanta campus a lot. Because I had a lot of buddies that went to Clark Atlanta and Morehouse and all those schools. And she did the same thing. She was just like, what are you doing? You're eligible for the Hope Scholarship. And she presented Albany State too. I took one little trip, and they
Yeah.
sold me.
Yeah.
They sell you on the history and the history of it. Like they sell you. Nah, that's what's up. So
Yeah.
what you take up at Albany State? I think I know, but I want you to.
Yeah, it's okay. I did marketing and business management,
Okay,
the
me
dual
too.
degree program.
Is that something you always wanted to do, or that just something like
No,
you felt
I
like
actually
you just-
went to school and didn't have a major. And I think like with financial aid or like with Albany State, something happened where you couldn't just not have a major. So I just picked one.
Just pick one of those.
And and it kind of worked out because basically I am business management and marketing, but at the time I had no idea what to pick. I just picked something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now I will admit, now that I'm thinking, I remember when you were a freshman, you were just more chill, laid back, kind of in your shell. Then like a year later, you were just kind of all over the place. You joined different organizations.
Yeah.
So what happened? It seemed like you went from Clark Kent, the super girl. You know what I mean?
Honestly, it was just more so like I didn't want to go home. Like, I literally like everybody would go home for holidays, breaks, all
Yeah.
that stuff. I was just any reason I could stay away from home.
Yeah.
Cause no knock to like my parents or anything, but it's just like I went from Orlando to Jessup.
Yeah.
And Jessup is a really, really small town. And I was born in Chicago. So, like, I don't know anything about being in, like, the country.
Yeah.
It was like a culture shock. So, like, I was just like, Albany was bigger than Jessup. So I was like, I got to stay here. All my friends are here. I'm having fun here. Like, I like it here. So I just joined everything. Any reason to stay. Like, I even like traveled abroad like for a whole summer. Like,
That's dope.
because I just wanted to like be away from home. That's just what I was feeling at that moment. So that's how that happened. So I just joined everything, and then my guidance counselor was also a Delta. So I was like, oh well, this is what she told me to do. She was like, be a part of all this stuff. So I was like, I'll just do it, and it helped with me joining Delta. So it just It's just accidental, but I guess destined all at the same time.
Shout out to your counselor. That's a hell of a counselor.
Yeah, she was cool.
She a hell of a counselor. You still keep in contact with her from time to time?
I don't do as good as I should, but Facebook kind of helps with that.
Yeah, nah, that's communication. That's where we live in.
Mm-hmm.
That's dope.
Yeah.
I mean, cause I'm y'all the same sorority or whatnot, so they make a lot of sense. Okay, I was kind of the same way, cause Albany State, when I went there, like going back and forth to Atlanta was more trouble. I could be doing the same exact thing in Albany and it's cool, but I can go out there and like get arrested or something like that, right? So, and then I had clientele, you know what I mean? So like I would stay on campus to keep my face card coming, cause I know it's always gonna be a batch of freshmen that came through, and I was the first on the scene, you know what I mean? Like I went to all the summer schools. I actually graduated college early too,
smart.
because like, you know what I'm saying?
It's not good, but it's smart.
It's cool. You know, it worked out for the best. You know what I'm trying to say? So like I didn't I was more so consistently staying on campus too, and then, you know, I go back out home, and, you know, sometimes my parents kind of get on my nerves, and I'm like, man, you know what? I'm gonna stick around, because I actually graduated Albany State in 3 years, so it was kind of dope, you know what I mean? And shout out to you, you kind of helped out with that, you know what I mean? So I had some bumps in the roads, and I actually got kicked out for a semester. I don't know why, you know, they didn't find anything on me. It was kind of crazy, but I guess suspicion that I was doing something I wasn't supposed to do, and you actually came through, you know what I'm saying? I don't know what you did, but I didn't have to redo a whole semester, so I saved a few thousand, and it was actually morale, because I was kind of contemplating like leaving. You know what I'm trying to say? 'Cause it was like an insult. Like, I feel like if you get reprimanded for something that you're caught doing, not something that somebody said you were doing.
Right.
And I was just like fuck this. You know what I'm saying? Like I went to Alabama for a while. I'm with my cousin, and then I don't know how we got in contact, but you reached out to me and told me to get in contact with like I think it was Mr. Elliott. He was on top of the marketing program.
Yeah.
And that kind of kept me in school. I'm not saying I would have dropped out of school, but I was like, fuck y'all, I'm gonna leave. It was so bootleg, you know what I mean, how they did it. And but I like that, that's dope, you know what I'm saying? And now that's what's up. So when you actually finished Albany State?
2011.
2011? So that was right after me.
Yeah. So I went there for 4 years.
Mm-hmm. All right, so like I was telling you at first, I had graduated a semester early from high school. So I always I'm not gonna say I felt awkward, but I didn't come in during the fall semester. So I always kind of felt like, you know what I mean? Like I came in spring semester. I always kind of felt like I didn't have a class. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause it was like only a few people, and out of the few people I remember, only like a couple of us graduated or whatever. So I didn't have that, oh, I'm a freshman feeling. I ain't have that. You know what I'm saying? I was really still in high school. I was still like a baby. You know what I'm trying to say? But I mean, I made it work, man. Jason, you gonna say something?
Nah.
Okay.
Continue.
All right. So, what was life like right when you got out of college?
It was confusing, honestly. I didn't really have a plan. I was like, oh, I'm gonna move to New York, and then I was like, oh wait, I don't know how I can move to New York. That's a lot. Like it just seemed not reachable. So I was like, I'll just move to Atlanta. And I had never really, I think I had been to Atlanta before, but I had never like I'm not from Atlanta. So I just packed up and I found an apartment and I just moved in. And I literally like waited tables. I did like a few gigs. I, applied for a few jobs, but I never really, I don't know. I don't think I ever really figured it out as far as like a person who like finishes school and then goes and gets a job. Like I just never, shockingly, I think people think that like I'm good at everything I do, but like I'm not good at like interviewing or like,
Me neither.
or like getting that job, or people like I have to actually work at a place and they see my worth versus like me like too. Pitching myself.
It's basically the first. I got you.
Yeah. So like I never like really got amazing opportunities or whatever. So I was just freeballing. That's not the word, but I was just freestyling, and just doing stuff. So I was just doing things, and I just started creating my opportunities more so.
Like, what's some of the places you work? when you
So
got out?
I worked at Red Lobster because I worked at Red Lobster when I was in school too. So I just transferred. I worked at
right?
Yep.
Southside.
Yep.
Southside.
Yep. I
What
worked
time?
there. I worked at Verizon. I worked at Title Max. I worked at where else did I work? I had so many. I did like marketing agencies, like maybe like 5 different marketing agencies. And I don't remember the other places. But like after I sold insurance with Aflac. I actually did a really good deal too. I was very surprised. But I just was doing little
Just freestyle,
gigs.
like you
Yeah,
said.
like I did like brand ambassadoring, like where you would like be the people who give out stuff at like the stores and stuff.
Okay.
I did all types of random stuff. Drove for Uber, drove for like when it first came out, like that type of stuff. Home Depot, the corporate office, like the call center.
Okay.
I just worked everywhere, honestly.
Okay, so you see she's getting multiple streams by any means. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
She's not
technically, yeah, I
she's
was.
not taking no for an answer.
I was
you
just
know what I'm
doing
saying?
stuff.
Well, my path was a little different. So I graduated college, and I was saying, wait, nobody will hire me. I don't know what I was saying wrong. I probably was telling them something like, man, I'm gonna take that money and flip this. I don't know what I was saying, man. But I wasn't getting no callbacks either, and I ended up doing door-to-door sales. You know what I'm saying? And the reason why I did it because I was like, man, you know, you want to be this big-time mogul or entrepreneur or whatever. You got to learn how to sell and close a little better. And it was a cool way to learn how to set up a very small business, you know, as far as recruiting and like the structure of it, you know, something I can do. You know, it wasn't like a big fancy Walmart. It was like a small business. And I even knew how they were getting their clients. So it was like more of a, so it'd be like, for instance, one of my clients was the Braves. We sold like these Brave packages. It'd be like $40, but they get like $500 worth of tickets. And I got to see how they made that happen. Basically, it's always gonna be some unused seats. You know what I mean? Like it's never gonna be full all the time. You know what I mean? Except when we went to the World Series or whatnot. And basically, I guess they just got in contact with the right people, and it was just basically like it was kind of awkward how they did it. Basically, the only thing they really did was they set up a meeting and pretty much projected how they can basically be making them a little money. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, they were just kind of like, okay, you guys have on average, how many seats do you guys have that are not full? And basically, how much does the average customer spend per game? You know, I guess when it comes down to like, you know, the food and all this type of stuff.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, so they got access to sell these ticket packages. And let's just say they made $1 million off selling these as an organization. It was a way that they refunded the Braves like $200,000 out of that. So they were paying them to market for them. Like a kind of like a marketing fee. A lot of companies, like, it's kind of like similar to like say for instance, I wanted to sell Nike inside of my store, and I went directly through Nike. I might have to pay like a fee initially to set up my account or whatever. So I did door-to-door sales. I never had an amazing job. I got fired because I think I smelled like weed or something. Like it was like we out there by ourselves all day, and the whole thing was recruiting other people and basically eventually building your own business. I think one too many marijuana complaints, and the dude fired me. Still cool to this day. Shout out to Brad Toomey. And after that, I was kind of lost for a second because I wasn't prepared for it. I wasn't prepared. I should have been prepared because it wasn't the best situation. But I was getting my hustle. It was just comfort, you know. But I was learning something. And the most I ever got, the best job, or after that, I had a job with it was through a temporary agency. I was at a car auction called Copart. Copart, there's a salvage auto auction. So you get your car beat up, banged up, you get into a wreck. Instead of it going to, basically they would send it to Copart so the claims adjusters can look at it and evaluate the damages. So it was like a junkyard, not a junkyard, it was an auction for those type of vehicles. At the end of the day, more than likely it's going to get totaled out. And once it's totaled out, the insurance company pays you, they run it through the auction to make some of their money back.
Yeah.
So I was doing that for 6 months, a year, something like that. And I'm still hustling. I'm still like, I was still doing like, I was reselling at the time, like selling things on eBay and things of that nature. And it kind of opened my eyes to the used, the junk car market. It's like, okay, well, damn, you can buy a car for $300-400 and break it down nick by nick, dime by dime. You could sell a door here, a mirror there. You could get $2,000 off a $400-500 investment, even if it take a second. Yeah. All you gotta do is listen on Craigslist, and your man's while you at work. My man's actually Markel from the neighborhood. He he would sit there with them people on Craigslist, and they were at Sean's shop. Sean, so he's actually a mechanic. So I have a buddy of mine. His father runs a mechanic shop, and while I was at work, I had that going on, and basically they fired me for conflict of interest. You know what I mean? They made it bigger. They made it bigger than that. It was like something going on where catalytic converters were getting stolen. And I don't know. It's like they didn't try to blame it on me, but I guess they looked into everybody and they saw my information on Craigslist, and I guess they were investigating me, and they were just like, I guess they saying if you could do this, you could do that. Yeah. But we ain't catch you doing it, but we gonna fire you anyways. That was the best thing for me, because now I'm back on the streets. I got a little money, and I just went full time reselling. You know what I'm saying? And shit, here I am today. The best thing happened, you get fired sometime, man. So yeah. All right, so cool, man. You hustle. Mm-hmm. Now we here today. Mm-hmm. Tropical Express ATL. Yeah. Plant store. Mm-hmm. Actually voted #1 in which?
Atlanta Magazine, 2 years in a row.
Okay, #1 plant store, Atlanta Magazine, 2 years in a row. And how long has this business been open to the public?
2.5 years, going on 3 in August.
She won Trap of the Year twice in a row. She basically won Trap of the Year twice in a row. So, where did this come about?
Honestly, during COVID, I was decorating my home, and we were looking for plants, and couldn't find any, I guess because there was like a scarcity because everybody was decorating their home. I really don't know. Mm-hmm. But every time I would go to like a place that was advertising like, oh, we got this big, nice plant, you would get there and they'd be like, oh, we sold it. It's gone. We don't have any more. Like, so I'm like, okay, this is getting annoying. So I started just looking and figuring out where you get them. And then I found out, and then you couldn't just get one, you had to get a bunch. So then it just kind of like, I went down a rabbit hole. So we got a greenhouse put in the backyard, got a lot of plants. And then one of my friends came over that I knew she liked plants. So I was like, oh, I got these plants, you want to come get one? And she bought a plant, and she's like, you should sell these. And so I was like, okay, you think so? She's like, what are you going to do with them? I went, that's my friend Asa. Okay. And so we went to I went to the side of the road on Memorial in the city. It's like a parking lot at the new school. It's this school called the New School. I didn't know at the time it was their parking lot. It was just an open, vacant parking lot. So I just set up shop there with a table and some plants, and people started pulling over and buying plants, and they were spending real money, and I didn't have any type of idea of what I was doing. So I'm not charging the right prices. I don't have Cash App, Venmo. I'm just taking cash, and I'm just well, you bought it, let me take a picture of you, posting it on Instagram, so and so bought a plant, and so it started becoming a business. So the people were like, oh, well, I like this plant, that guy just bought it, you gonna be here next week? I could. I'm not doing nothing. I don't have a job for real. So it was it just became a thing. So every week I was out there, and then eventually the owner of the property came to the space one day and was just like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I'm selling plants. And he's like, well, just text me next time and let me know when you popping up. And I was like, that's it? Okay. So he was very kind to me. He's the owner of the school, and after that it started to get cold, and like I said, the plants were in the backyard in a greenhouse. So there was a storm or something, and it tore down the greenhouse. I went out of town one day, so I was like, oh, they can't stay outside, it's about to be really cold, they're gonna die. Let me make sure I put them somewhere until next summer or whatever. Thinking really dumb. And so I found a spot, and I was like, oh, can I put my plants here? And they were like, yeah. So I rented out this spot at the goat farm. It's in West Midtown. And it had amazing windows, and then people were like, where you at? And I'm like, dang, I guess they could pull up here. And there's no signs or anything at the goat farm. It's like a property. It's just like, it's a weird place, but it was a vibe.
Okay.
And so like I was like telling people how to get there, and it just started to become like a hidden gem. Like people just started pulling up and buying plants. So I was like, I guess it's a store. Let me put some shelf. Like never in my mind was it a store. It was always a storage.
It's storage.
Like,
Yeah,
and then people just kept coming and coming. So I was like, oh, I guess this is a store. Let me get some. And like to this day, honestly, I don't think I've ever had a sign on any of the buildings that I've been in, which is so weird. But I'm like, I think it's moving faster than I'm processing. So like the things that would be very trivial and small to somebody who owns a store, I'm not comprehending yet, because in my mind it's still like this little spot that I got my stuff at versus like
storage.
Oh, this is a real store. Like people want to come here. I don't have a counter or a cash register. Like I'm still in that baby steps. Like oh, people want to like I don't know. It's weird, but it's working.
Nah,
so I'm just going the way it goes.
That's how it go, man. When you find something, when you find your move.
Yeah.
That's just like me. I'm on the phone with someone yesterday. All right, so this is kind of like me. My business, I'm at the point now I can have a store, but it's like I understand exactly what you're saying. Like when the business comes faster than the plan, you just kind of handling the demand. You know what I'm saying? Like you just set up shop. You got all these people lined up at your door. They knocking. They want these plants, and now it's dope. So was your mother into plants?
Yes, my whole family.
For
My
real?
dad, yeah. So before my dad passed, he gave me a plant. I still have it, but I was like literally about to kill it. And I gave it to my friend, and I was like, "Can you hold this for me? Because I don't want to kill it. I don't know what I'm doing." I was terrible with plants, and like now,
Ironically,
yeah, I was the worst. And like now, I know what I'm doing. I know what to say. I know like everything, and it's just crazy. But yeah, I'm into plants. My father, my grandma, everybody was always into plants. And I just got my skill set like later in life. Like it's just now picking up. Like it
in your blood.
Yeah,
It's in the
it's
blood.
definitely in my blood. My sisters, everybody is like super into plants now. That's what we talk about. It's crazy.
Like, what was the first plant you sold, though? Or the first species of plants?
Honestly,
selling?
the first plant I sold was to my friend, and it's called a starfish snake plant, and it basically looks like a starfish. It's so cool, and she still has it, and I sold it to her. It was really dope.
So you were starting off selling just star plants, or you had a whole
No, I had
variety
like
of...
a whole greenhouse full of big plants, all types of plants, and that was just one that I thought was really cool. Because that was the problem. Like, everything I wanted to put in my house, I wanted it to be cool, but all the cool stuff was gone. Like, nobody had them at their stores. They just had, like, the regular stuff that you see. So, but I had a whole bunch of varieties of stuff. Even when I ordered the plants, like, I picked some stuff that I had, like, Googled. Like, I seen their name, like, on the list of stuff I could get. And I was like, what is that? And then I was like, whoa. Like, stuff I never heard of. So, yeah. I had everything.
Okay, she went from Superwoman to Poison Ivy. Okay, that's what's up, man.
That's hilarious.
So I know this is not a beanstalk, but it's about called a beanstalk. What type of plant is this behind us?
So this is called a Dieffenbachia, but people call it a dumb cane as the nickname, and it's actually kind of sad. So the reason people call it a dumb cane is because, like, if you eat it, it looks like a sugar cane, and if you eat it, you'll actually not be able to talk or talk for like 30 minutes or something like that. It's very toxic.
So it'll numb your mouth or something?
It'll numb your mouth.
We need
And
this
so-
plant. I need
and
this
so-
plant. I know a lot of people that need to shut the fuck up.
So that's no wait before when I tell you. So like that's what like slave owners used to do. Like they used to give this to like our ancestors. So that's why they call it a dumb cane. And then so like that would make them not talk. So that's crazy. Wow. Like it's wild. But yeah, that's where it got its.
You just blend it up or something? Cut the
I mean,
you could just
leaf
eat
or-
it. You could just eat it, but you're not supposed to.
I know that.
Yeah, but you could just from what I'm
putting this in somebody's smoothie one day. I got somebody need to shut the fuck up. I'm blending some,
Yeah,
putting the smoothie,
so-
chopping it up. They won't
Yeah,
even know.
they'll get it back, hopefully, but it is toxic.
Wow.
Yeah, they'll get their voice back.
Told you, Poison Ivy, man. I'm scared of you. All right, so this episode is brought to you in part by Tropical Express ATL, the #1 plant store in the world, but it was actually voted #1 in Atlanta Magazine. Miss Thomas Crystal, how do they find you?
So you can find me on my website, tropicalexpressatl.com. You can do a Google search, Tropical Express ATL, Instagram, Tropical Express ATL, on everything, Twitter, Pinterest, website, everywhere.
You on Yelp yet?
On Yelp, Tropical Express
Okay,
ATL.
okay,
Yep,
okay.
all sites.
Dope. And what about your personal brand? How do they find you personally?
I don't want them to.
Okay.
I don't even post my face on my business page.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, but you shouted out your. Do you have an Instagram for Tropical Express?
Tropical Express ATL.
Okay. Cool. All right. That's what's up. That's dope. So wow. So this plant makes you it makes you not
Numb your
able to
mouth.
speak for
Yeah.
about 30 minutes or so.
Yeah.
What's some more cool plants, man? I'm thinking I'm liking these plants, man. I'm gonna
Yeah.
have to buy one of
Another one next
these.
to it.
I'm gonna have to get one of these. I'm gonna have to wash my hand. I don't want to lick my finger.
Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah, I can't do that.
There's
That's
this
why
one
you made me.
plant.
That's why you made me carry it that way.
Nah, that's not why. That's funny though. Nah, there's this one plant. It's called a prayer plant. And basically, it's green at the top. It has a purple undertone. But at night, the leaves raise up, and then in the daytime, they lay back down. So they call it a prayer plant because they move throughout the day, and it's like a prayer hand.
Yeah, because that's like opposite. Because when you need
That's
water,
dope as
they
hell.
Yeah.
drop it down and
Yeah. So at
Yo.
night it goes to sleep basically.
I
It's
never
Spanish.
had a clue as to how cool plants were. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Honestly, God, plants can be used for anything. Damn, that's dope.
that's crazy. So, like, what are some of the challenges you had with just trying to start a whole plant business?
Definitely capital for sure. Not having like money to like keep up with inventory. At first it was customers as far as like the type of customer, but now I think I have my people.
Yeah.
Because there are different types of plant people. There's
Yeah.
people who are like super geeks about it, and I really don't necessarily like those type
The
of
technical
customers.
people.
Yeah, because they take it too serious. Like I like the beginner who wants to learn, who's not like has that pressure.
Yeah.
Cause like some customers like they'll buy like there's plants out there that sell for like $2,000, and they like are scouting
that
and
is.
trying to find it. And if you don't have this one, you're not cool and all that.
it get
That's
deep.
pretty like lame to me. So I don't like those.
Kind of like
yeah.
kind of like the French bulldog market. Like you got people selling designer Frenchies for 10 to 20 to 30,000, but when it come down to it, we all like Frenchies, and some people pay that much premium just for the structure. But they are some friendly dogs. Like a 20,000 one and a $5,000, they're gonna have the same lifespan.
Yeah.
But I understand what you're saying, because if I was to do a breeding, I'm not gonna go to that. I'm not gonna go to the dog show where everybody got $20,000-$30,000 designer Frenchies. It's too serious to them.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
too
trying to
serious.
say?
Yeah.
Nah, wow.
Yeah.
So why does everybody need a plant in their home or some plants in their home?
I don't know. Like I'll say everybody does, but everybody doesn't need one necessarily. Like, because I definitely don't want people to kill plants. Because even if you have a fake plant, that's cool. Like,
Yeah.
but honestly, like I like plants in my home because it kind of changes up the vibe. It brings life. Like inside is very sterile. You know, we seal everything, and you know, like it's just very very dry and real gloomy. So I think plants change the atmosphere for me, which makes me feel better. Definitely they give off, they purify your air, but honestly that's not necessarily true because it would take so many to actually do what is supposed to be done in like a small space. But it still makes you feel better. It gives you something to look forward to as far as like seeing new growth with a plant and just knowing that you're taking care of something and it's living. And it just looks beautiful. So I personally enjoy it. It makes me feel good, especially like if you live in a city and you don't have like grass or anything like that.
that'd
It
be
kind of
perfect
brings
for you.
nature
Yeah.
inside with you. So that's why I personally like it. But if you can't keep a plant alive, there are plants that you can get that, you know, you don't have to take care of like that much. You could water them like once a month. But if you just are terrible and you just don't want to do it, I don't think you should. Unless
I
you
got you.
I'm that person.
So, like,
I can't take care of
That's
no
like
plant.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, so going back to the dog conversation, everybody don't deserve a dog because they're not gonna walk them and feed
Yeah.
them. Some people better off with a snake.
Yeah, yeah,
Some they
there's
can
a
feed every
different
blue
type.
moon.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah.
yeah, for sure. I think that's great.
So look,
Comparison.
where do you re-up on plants? You go through a brokerage, like a broker, a plant
I'm
broker?
not telling you that
No,
part.
I'm not. I'm not asking you where. I'm just saying, like, I'm just
Like, do you
saying
put
in
seeds in
general.
the ground or? Yeah.
Oh
you-
no,
do you
no,
plant
yeah,
them?
I don't grow any of my plants. Yes, so just like any other business,
You
like
got a distributor. You
Yeah.
got people that you partner with, and
Yeah.
you buying from them.
mostly local growers. So people like they've had their business for years. I usually buy from those type of businesses.
Okay.
Yeah, I buy from a lot of different small minority owned businesses, which is
Okay.
really cool. Yeah.
So you buy them small or? you
No,
buy 'em all
I
sizes, or-
personally purchase my plants myself. Like I hand pick all my plants.
Okay,
As of right
okay.
now, but I can't have them shipped to me. But it just kind of they ship you whatever you want. But
That ain't bad.
Wow, that's dope. That's
Mm-hmm.
dope. That's dope. That's dope. So, do you have a favorite plant?
my favorite plant changes a lot. But right now, my favorite plant is called a Ficus Audrey. And
Ficus. I actually heard of that before.
yeah, it's really dope, and it kind of like gives like African vibes. But I just feel like it's a very easy plant. It makes a statement, like it looks really good indoors, and I just think I've been selling them to a lot of my customers lately, and they all have like been well with them, like in buildings and offices and homes. And I just think it's just the perfect plant to have something where it doesn't intimidate you, but it gives a very like big statement because it's easy to take care of, but it looks like really good. So that's one of my faves right now.
All right, so
Yeah.
I know people can buy directly from you, but someone like me that has no clue, depending on how far it is, like, do you sometimes go to customer's place, or you haven't
Yeah,
seen
all the
people?
time. So
Okay.
right now, like most of my customers mainly like they like just moved into their home or they have their home, and I come like do a consultation with them, and or like they'll just say, "This is my budget. Just pick out some stuff for me and buy some pots," and then I'll just do that. Because a lot of
People like
times
me.
people
that's me
like
too.
how plants look, but then they don't know like which ones are best
Yeah.
for them to have.
You gotta
Yeah,
go
not
through a whole
that-
consultation on that.
Yeah.
That's serious. That deep.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
To see
So
what
you
type of plant in the house.
so a lot of your clients might be, or so you cool with like a lot of people that stage properties or realtors.
I'm
things like
getting
that?
into a lot of interior designers. I'm working with, which is really cool. Because I think a lot of times when customers buy stuff, they kind of place everybody in like they make you feel like you can do everything and you can't. Like I'm the plant person, I'm not going to decorate your house. So like I work with a lot of interior designers as far as like what pot to pick out or what
Okay.
like so we work together. So yeah, a lot of people do that.
And it's cool to get like, I mean, I know you got your own thing going on from people knowing you and your business, but it also helps bring additional business. Like you
Yeah.
got a couple of those people in pocket.
Yep.
Nah, that's what's up. So we're gonna definitely chop that up. I gotta order some plants for a few people that can add a little ambiance to their place.
Yeah.
Do you do you involved in any other? I know this is pretty much your baby right now. You
Yeah.
involved in any other business at the moment? I know sometimes you throw these cool events that people like me
Yeah.
like to go to.
Yeah.
Event planning and
So honestly, I used to do a lot of events. But since I've had the shop, I do more of my stuff in the shop. So like I used to do parties and stuff like that. But now like at my shop I do like wine tastings, cocktail
so dope.
tastings. I do karaoke, and we're doing like a candle making class. So I do more stuff like in the shop now opposed to
that's
out
dope.
like other
But
stuff.
so you have multiple streams with one business. So you got
Yeah.
on one note you can sell plants, and on another note you can have events where people can be around these plants.
Yeah.
They don't. That's super dope, and it's important because I don't feel like we have enough herbologists out here. You know, the average person you selling plants, you know, from people that look like us. You know, that means you're selling weed, you know what I mean? So you done stepped
Yeah.
your game up and you doing illegal. And
Yeah.
I can't do nothing but salute that. So
Yeah.
nah,
Everybody
that's dope.
thinks I sell weed, honestly.
I mean
I've had a few 420 events at the shop, and then like
that's crazy.
this one guy, one of my mentees, he sells he has his own line of THC or whatever.
Strand.
Strand, that's the word.
Yeah, it's dope.
And it's legal and all that stuff. Like he went through all that.
Of course.
But so he'll eventually have something there. But like, yeah, people. That's what they say when I say, "Oh, I sell plants." Like, they're like, "Oh, you sell weed?" I'm like, nah.
Nah.
But it's pretty cool though, because it's like it's all in the same. Like Black
shit
people
dope.
are definitely agriculturists. So
Yeah,
by
and
nature,
it helps out because it's a lot of knowledge about, like, they definitely don't teach you about a lot of plants in school. Like I mean, this information I would only know by talking to someone such as yourself that has the knowledge and the insight as far as how to make that happen. So I feel like it's important because I mean, these, like you said, they bring life and they serve different purposes. I feel like that's a whole nother education that we could be missing. You know what I mean? So now that's what's up. You do anything? Well, that's pretty much it. You know. So you how you invest?
no, not right now.
Mm-hmm.
I've been following someone, and they've instructed me to get out of debt before I invest in anything. So that's what I'm doing.
Yeah, you gotta listen to whoever you're listening to. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, everybody.
So
You can always use a mentor.
as
So-
exciting as it sounds, I think I'm gonna, go the long way and just get myself together first before I can invest in anybody else.
No, I understand that 100%. I understand that 100%. Now that's so dope. So you said you've done candle making events. So people, how do people find you? Like, do people book you just based off of you, or do you?
No, like I don't know. It's very weird. So when I post, I specifically, when I made my business, because I did do parties and all that stuff before, I didn't want the same, like, I didn't even tell, I don't know when you found out, but I didn't tell anybody I owned a plant shop until like recently, like within the past few months. Like, I never told anybody when I first had it, specifically because I wanted to keep the two audiences separated. And I'm doing this podcast because of you, but I have no desire to be like famous or like the face of anything. Like, I just want to make my money in peace. So like, with a lot of the events, a lot of people just found because they Google, and I make sure, I think I do well at marketing, so I do make sure like I post it on all the sites that I could possibly post it on, community calendars, Instagram, all that stuff, TikTok, whatever. And people found me on their own. Even my customers, like I have over 10,000 customers, and I don't know these people, but they have an interest in something, and I've fed their interest. So like, they come because they want to come, and it has no ties to me as a person, like, which I like more. So I don't feel so obligated to like pressure my friends to support my business or anything, because they don't really care about plants. And it doesn't bother me that they don't care about plants. And so like with the candle making and stuff like that, that's more so me partnering with other businesses, because the girl who does candles, she sells her candles at my shop too. So like, that's just me tapping in with partnerships and allowing them to have a space to use, and also me to gain exposure as well. So yeah,
That's like
Multiple
literally the
streams.
definition of organic. You know, people just naturally gravitate towards you and your business, and it's the business of plants. So that's like literally the definition of organic.
yeah.
No, that's hard.
Do you have like any resources? Say if somebody wanted to start a plant business, is there any resources you can give to help somebody on that journey?
As far as a plant business,
What's something that you
I
do?
can't say, and I'm not trying to be like a gatekeeper, but it's just like, no. I don't want to give any of my competitors competitive advantage, but I would say that as far as a business is concerned,
Okay.
I think the smartest thing to do is to create the business, and then just make sure like all this stuff that is like free outside, to make sure you attend. So like, Invest Atlanta is like a great resource. I'm currently working with them to get my trademark, and they pay
they
for it
dope.
all on their own, and literally all you have to do is just go to the website and apply.
That's enough right there.
There's nothing you have to like. The only thing you definitely have to do, which I didn't realize, is you have to have a business license. So I think a lot of podcasts and little stuff like that, they always talk about having an LLC. That's not it. Like, you have to have a business license to operate. You have to have a business license to get any grant there is. And that's further than an LLC. A LLC is just like it doesn't do anything.
Piece of paper.
Yeah, so you got to get a business license, and if you're into doing retail or like any type of like trading, you would need to make sure you get a reseller's tax certificate. So
Yep.
these are things that like I think we don't tell people. So I think that's something, a resource. But definitely
Yeah.
Invest Atlanta is the resource. And the trademark thing, like I've been working with them for like at least 6 months, so it's a long process.
It
So
always is with Invest Atlanta.
yeah, but I think it's a good resource to have. And then once you get your business license and your LLC, just go to these websites for all of these government places and make sure you set up a vendor account with them. Like I work with the city of South Fulton. I work with the
Okay.
city of Atlanta.
City of South Fulton. Okay.
Yeah, I love
Southside.
them. They're amazing. But like you have to be a vendor on their site to even know that they're
Yeah.
looking for somebody to do anything. Like and
Mm-hmm.
they'll look for somebody to teach a class. Like they'll pay for a lot of stuff, but you just have to be registered because they don't know who you are.
When you say they,
Like the government, like those
Oh, okay.
those
I got you.
entities. They'll look for like if they're doing something in the city of South Fulton where they need a DJ, they're not gonna just go online and be like, oh, let me find it. They're gonna
be a
go through
vendor.
their vendor list and just
Yeah.
say, oh, so and so, are you available today? But you haven't registered, and it's no cost to register to be a vendor.
I heard
You just
about that.
sign up. You can
Okay,
do it
now
for
we
any
doing
county that you
You
want to
hear
do
it,
it.
right?
all right. So
Free to
like
sign
bottom line, if you start a business, it doesn't have to be a plant-based business. It could be any business. You could be opening a barbershop. You could be a DJ. You could be an artist. Never ignore your local entities that help out entrepreneurs. Like Invest Atlanta, that's what we have. That's one resource that we have here. They got quite a few resources. I can't name them off the top of my head, but instead of just going directly to the public, look at these organizations that are set up to help us out. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people, like when I was dealing with Invest Atlanta, it wasn't a lot of people over there. You know what I mean? And the people, and people don't want to wait in line, and a lot of times they don't want to wait for application processes to be completed. But the time gonna pass anyways. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna look up. It might take 30 days. You're gonna look up in 60 days and be like, damn, I wish I did it. You know what I'm saying? What's some things What's some things that you want to say about yourself that helped you become the successful individual that you are today? What's some qualities about yourself or your work ethic or whatever that that you feel like brought you to where you are today?
Yeah, I think for me, I'm not a personality or like a face type of person. Like I don't be putting my face out there, but like I think when you put your work out there, it kind of speaks for itself. So like I really try to focus on taking good pictures, making sure like there's no grammar errors in like my posts and stuff like that. So like the little small steps. I'm also like, I think sometimes people want to get instant gratification. So I think like with me, I'm thankful that I'm like a little patient and knowing that timing is everything. Like just keep working and it'll come eventually. It's kind of
Dope.
like my personality. I don't really stress too much. I think a lot of people like to like really be overwhelmed and stress themselves out. I try not to stress about a lot of stuff. I just try to get done what I need to get done for the day, and whatever I don't get done, just make sure I do it the next day. Like, but I also like you just like with me, I have to talk to myself about things that don't happen, like because there's a lot of things that I've missed, and then like it comes maybe a year later or a few months later and it's better and I can actually handle it. And so I think just making sure like when you fail or like things happen, like to not be so upset about it being like failing, because like there was a lot of opportunities that I had that like I really didn't have the money or the time to take up those opportunities. I just wanted them, and like now it's like, oh yeah, I'm cool, like I can do it, like. But it's just, that's just what it takes. Like, you just have to have a different type of mindset when it comes to something that has longevity. Now, something quick, I mean, you kind of got to just do what it do.
Yeah.
But if you want something to last long, it's like you just kind of got to put in all the little details to make it stay.
Okay, so what I got from that, pretty much perseverance, having tough skin. Every L doesn't mean a loss, it means a lesson, and you just got to persevere that and just be yourself. Okay, so as we wrap things up, we got a little game we play. It's called This or That.
Oh, okay.
It's called This or That. Just going to ask a couple questions to get your intake. You know, you're just gonna either choose A or B for the most part. So,
Okay.
you ready?
Yeah.
All right, clubs or lounges?
Lounges.
Okay, why?
I like to vibe. I feel like the clubs be just like showboating.
Like a museum.
Yeah, like I feel
Swag
like
museum.
lounges, like I could still kind of talk to whoever I want to talk to. I could like vibe. I could like it's no pressure. Like everybody there chilling. Like I think clubs is just like get away from me. Don't be in my station. Don't look at me. Or I feel like since I'm over here, I could treat you this way because it's just weird vibes. I don't like
Better
that
not
shit.
step on my shoes.
Yeah, that's just lame.
Hip hop or R&B?
Ooh, so it's probably hip hop for me.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
You listen to a lot of trap music, don't you?
No,
Okay.
No.
Okay.
I don't. I listen to a lot of old school hip hop.
Old school hip hop. You
Yeah.
got a okay. Now that's dope.
Yeah,
That's dope.
Yeah.
Basketball or football?
Ooh, football.
Football. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Action or comedy?
Comedy.
Okay. You like a good laugh.
Yeah, I don't like to take.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Life too short to take it 100%
Yeah.
serious. Just like in the
Yes.
plant world.
Yeah.
You don't want to talk to the serious plant connoisseur. You want to talk to somebody like myself
Yeah.
that just wants to learn. Like I'm more so infatuated with learning as opposed to thinking I know it all.
Yeah.
All right, business or marketing. So in your as far as like as you run a business I mean the processes, the footwork outside of the presentation, and marketing is more so the presentation, the word of mouth, the sale.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know. I think I'm better at business, but I enjoy marketing more.
I would have
Yeah.
thought you said the opposite, but no, that's what's up. That's what's up.
Well, maybe I am better at marketing, but I really feel like I'm not about to sit here and be like, make sure you post 3 times a day. I'm not
No,
doing that.
that ain't what I mean though. That's,
No, but I'm just saying, like, I think, like, but I like the concepts of coming up with, like, marketing strategies and stuff,
Yeah.
but, like, I'm not necessarily good. Like, I'm not good at it. But when it comes to business and somebody
she's
say, I
somebody
need,
she's not good at it.
like, if somebody says, like, I need this proposal by Friday, I'm going to make sure I do it. But, like, if somebody's like, oh, make this TikTok video, it might take me 2-3 months to, like,
Nah, but
even
that's-
post on TikTok.
No, that's business. Like if somebody marketing is the fun part of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you don't have to do anything you don't have to do. That's the pretty good thing about working for yourself. And I mean I'm the same way. Like I'm the same. Well, I'm more so marketing over business, but no, it's dope. All right, so before we close, Jason, you have anything you want to ask or add?
Yeah, one more. Like, do you have somebody that inspired you to keep going, or some like a mentor that keep you on the right
I
track?
have a lot of mentors. So, my friends definitely inspire me because they think that I'm just like amazing, and it's wild to me because I be like, no, like, but they inspire me because
Nah,
they
you
like they literally like tell me and they encourage me and they send me stuff all the time, and I think that's really dope. I appreciate it.
They want to keep you
Nah,
moving.
you
Yeah,
go,
they be
man. I
keeping
ain't
me
gonna cap.
going.
You go. I ain't gonna cap. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
But I do have a few mentors, like, which actually were my customers. So like,
That's how they
which is
start.
really cool. Yeah, like, so I asked a few of my customers to be my mentors, and they said yeah. So they definitely inspire me. And honestly, you know, my biggest inspiration is Jay-Z. So I listen to him a lot, but I find myself lately being very inspired by not necessarily him himself, but his words. Like I'm really inspired lately by TD Jakes. Like
No, oh man, every
I
morning.
like
nah,
Yeah,
that's
like,
an every morning thing
it's
right
like
there.
it's like the more that I start to listen to him, the more I start to see like God,
Yeah, the
and I'm
evidence
just like,
of
I'm like,
the
you know
pathway.
what? Yeah, he getting me through this right now.
Nah,
so
when I wake up, first thing I do in the morning, I'm not gonna say I abstain from social media for a full hour, but when I get up, I just cut on YouTube and like let me see. So I cut on YouTube and like normally the first face I see is either Steve Harvey or TD Jakes, and then it's kind of weird because in the afternoon I see like Vlad and stuff like that. See ya. But normally when I wake up,
Yeah.
you'll see TD Jakes, and like that wake me up every morning. Like before I cut on some music, trap music,
Yeah.
it be TD Jakes. You know what I'm saying?
TD
TD
Jakes,
Jakes will pop up or Steve Harvey. But nah,
That's good.
that's what's
stuff.
up, man. That's what's up. That's what's up. Do you have anything you want to say to the people before we close this interview?
No, not necessarily, but yeah.
All right, so you guys know shop with her on the plants.
Yeah.
Add a little ambiance to your life, and you know, make sure you take care of them. Though, if you're gonna be a bad plant dad or plant mom, then it's not for you. This is for someone that's actually going to take care of the plants. And it's been another episode of Multiple Streams by Any Means. And remember, good things happen to those that hustle.